Hey guys, real quick before we get into it, I wanted to make sure to say that this is all just conspiracy theories. It's not truth. We don't believe this stuff. With that being said, please enjoy this. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's
What
me.
up?
It's your boy. It's Andrew Glenn Helgerson here with my beautiful co-host.
Angeline, Renee, Cruz.
Awesome. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. But before we get right up in that, let me make a toast to my good sister Ariel, who's going to be coming out here in another 2 weeks. Shout out to Ari.
This one's for you, Ari.
Love it. Today we're drinking water because it's hot. It's summer. We
Well,
love it.
today wasn't that bad. It was only like 80 degrees.
Yeah.
But, it's been pretty hot. So,
Yeah.
people out there, stay hydrated.
Hydrate or die, okay?
Literally. I think we said that like the last few episodes.
We should say that all the time.
Because it's been really hot. It's pretty important.
We should do what my dad and Ariel said to do and call the show Hydrated on Knowledge.
At least for the summertime.
At least. Okay. So, jumping right in. What is this about? It's about conspiracies. What kind of conspiracies are we going to do? We don't know yet.
Find out.
Angeline, jump right in. What do you got?
Well, I want to back up a little bit.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually really excited to do this episode. I only have 4 conspiracy theories today, but my mind is always crawling with conspiracy theories. If I'm not thinking about astrology, I'm thinking about conspiracy.
Oh my gosh. That's really true.
Yeah, so I watch I'm currently watching all of Shane Dawson's conspiracy theory videos.
She has an addiction.
I have an addiction to Shane Dawson.
Is that harassment?
No, it's not weird at all.
Okay.
But so if you're a conspiracy theory snob like I am, go ahead and go and check out Shane Dawson's channel. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
and
if you're Shane Dawson, come check out our podcast.
Oh my God, please don't. Not yet, at least.
Please do. We need your help, okay?
Okay, jumping right into this. And it's funny because I didn't hear this one from Shane Dawson. It's talking about Rh negative blood. So Rh blood it's not something new. It's not a surprise. It originates from the rhesus monkey factor, which is a measurement of the antigens? I forget how to say this word.
I think that's right.
English, am I right? So the antigens in your blood.
You right.
It has not really much to do with monkeys, which is pretty funny.
Okay.
So there's Rh negative and there's Rh positive. 85% of people on this earth, here on earth, have have Rh positive blood, but there's only 15% of the world that has Rh negative blood. And Rh negative blood is pretty interesting because people believe that people with Rh negative blood they have high senses, they have higher IQs, they usually have green, blue, hazel eyes, reddish hair, empathetic qualities, and just really high tuned and sensitive in those areas, which is pretty interesting, I think. And along with those features, they also have low blood sugar or high blood sugar, and it's just not normal blood pressure either. It's either high or low, which could probably be really confusing for doctors.
Yeah, really.
So most of the world didn't have Rh negative blood until around the 15th century, which is pretty odd if you think about it, because we can't trace this blood line.
Wait, so Rh negative is rare, right?
Only 15% of people have it. So, it's pretty rare.
And you can have blood types within the Rh spheres, right?
I believe so.
So you could have like Rh negative type O.
I have
That
no
would be
clue.
like the most rare blood.
I know that
Oh,
people who have Rh negative blood can give blood to other people and it'll work, but you can't get other types of blood to you. And women who have Rh negative blood and they want to be pregnant or get pregnant, it's really hard because if the baby doesn't have Rh negative blood, the body pretty much is like attacking itself.
oh, dang, that sucks.
So they have to get like a certain shot or some sort of treatment in order to carry a healthy pregnancy.
So what's the
Carry a
conspiracy?
healthy pregnancy. Carry a healthy baby. Okay, so the conspiracy is, so it's interesting because this blood can't be traced back like to our ancestors, like cavemen ancestors. It only showed up in the 15th century. And the originator that it's like as far back as we can see it is the king. King John, starts with an S, his last name, but it was pretty much a really powerful king.
King John Squiggles.
And do you know what? A lot of our presidents in the United States have Rh negative blood. A majority of them, actually.
Interesting.
So part of the theory is that really powerful people have Rh negative blood. And it also is found in the royal family.
Does
in England.
Beyonce have Rh negative blood?
Shoot, I don't know. Maybe the Illuminati people have different blood. I don't know.
Probably.
But that's okay. So that's interesting that like really powerful people have Rh negative blood.
All the lizard people.
Yeah, like it's part of like I think lizard people Rh negative blood.
Oh, it's part of that conspiracy.
I really don't know.
Okay.
Probably
okay,
not.
Okay. Probably though, because I mean, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. So the Rh negative blood originated from Europe, and it's not really in Africa, which is interesting because a lot of people came from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Like, humans came from Africa.
That is really weird.
Yeah, and so many scientists and doctors, they're like, oh, it's just some random thing that showed up.
Some random
and
mutation.
whatnot. Yeah, some just random blood thing. But a lot of people speculate that it came from aliens.
Oh my gosh. Aliens!
Yeah, like aliens came here and just like impregnated us and we have their blood in them. And it's interesting that it's in all the powerful people in the world.
That is pretty weird.
It's like aliens are trying to control us, and trying to control us, they're using powerful people. Like they're trying to keep the blood in people who are in power.
That's so weird. I wonder if I have Rh negative. Probably
Right?
not, because I'm just like living my life down here in a duplex.
I honestly don't know what blood type I am. That's pretty bad.
Wow. I'm pretty sure I'm A positive.
The next time I get a blood test, I'm going to ask.
In case anyone wants to know, I'm definitely A positive.
So if you need blood, hit them up.
Yeah, I got you, homie.
But yeah, I just thought that one was interesting because, like really powerful people have them. I mean, Trump has Rh negative blood.
Wait,
Obama
really?
does.
Really?
Yes.
What the heck?
Nixon, I believe. JFK. Like lots of our presidents. And it's just like, is that just a coincidence? I don't know. Because only 15% of the population has Rh negative blood.
That's so weird.
So yeah, I mean, that's something to ponder. Maybe the aliens have already came here and we're having alien babies and whatnot.
Maybe that's why Hillary Clinton didn't win, because she doesn't have the Rh negative blood.
I honestly don't know if she does. Ooh, so I didn't write this down, but there was an interesting conspiracy theory about Hillary Clinton.
Oh, really? What?
Spin-off. She actually is hiding a very deadly disease that she has.
What?
Yeah.
Deadly disease? Why would she hide a deadly disease?
Because she wanted to be president. She didn't want to show it because if she's weak, people are going to be like, why are you running for president? No, you're not going to be president.
I mean, I believe that.
You do? Why do you believe that?
Well, because there was that one time she fell down and, like, was, like, out cold for, like, I don't know, a couple minutes. And
Really?
Yeah. Like,
there's multiple occasions. Like, okay, so I heard this one on Shane Dawson's video, and he showed a clip that Like she was talking to reporters and
She just passes out.
no, that I guess that's another occasion, but she looks like she's having a seizure.
Oh my god.
Like her head is
Sorry
like,
to laugh, but like,
yeah, like sorry, we're not like making fun of people with seizures, but like her head was like bobbing like this, trying to talk
wow.
to the reporters, and they were like laughing, like, what are you doing? And she tried to act like normal. And her bodyguard, he has like a pin on him that shows that he's a paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
Why does she have a
Yeah.
paramedic by her side all the time? And he even like sometimes it looks like she's having a hard time like standing by herself or whatever. So he'll come to her side and like support her and like even tell her what to say and stuff.
Wow.
Because people who are like going through stuff, their heads aren't straight and they can't think of what to say. I mean, there's multiple occasions and there's even videos of her just like blanking on the spot and then him coming to her side and like, like aiding her.
Well, I mean, she is getting pretty old, so it could just be like, getting old. But
I guess, but I mean, that's weird.
There's a lot that goes into that, and I feel like maybe she does have some sort of thing going on.
Maybe she does. It's not like uncommon for people to have stuff going on with them, so
True.
it's possible.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? I'm interested in your stuff.
Oh, okay. So, so my first one is it's about Holocaust Revisionism, which is basically people who don't believe the Holocaust happened the way that we were taught it.
I just want to put a disclaimer out there.
Disclaimer real quick. We don't believe this stuff, okay?
We believe that the Holocaust happened. We don't believe in the people who are like, oh, no, it's fake and whatnot.
Yeah.
Because that's really disrespectful. And even Jordan, our friend, he visited
he was just at a concentration camp.
Yeah, so it's like, no, like, there's no way that it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like thousands and thousands of documents and... Not to mention the physical evidence, but anyways,
yeah, what are these crazy people saying?
So basically, these people, they call the Holocaust, as we know it, a legend or a myth. So like when they're talking in their fancy dancy books or their fancy dancy whatever, they're like the myth states that, or the legend states that,
Oh my gosh.
So they basically think that 6 million Jews were not killed. That's like the biggest thing that they say.
Yeah.
A lot of it is about how the Polish people, which apparently a lot of the Jews that were murdered were from Poland. So a lot of people are saying that the Polish people and Jewish people alike are just like hyping it up, like just really exaggerating it. And like,
what's their motive then?
I don't know. More media attention? I really don't know. They didn't really get into that. That's a good question.
Yeah, like, answer me that question.
Yeah, really, like, what is their motive for that? Maybe just to make, like, the Nazis seem worse, but, I mean, they already seem really bad for all the stuff they did.
Yeah.
Think some other things that they were saying were that the thing that killed most people, rather than like malnourishment or gas chambers or the
really
things
bad
like
stuff.
that, they think that typhus is what killed people, and typhus
like a disease.
is a disease that was actually rampant at the time. And they think that gas chambers not only weren't real, but that if they were real, they only sprayed Zyklon, which is it's like a pest control substance, because typhus is and was spread through basically like what do you call them, lice. So they were trying to like get rid of the lice because it was going to spread the typhus, and that's what the gas chambers were, which was actually what they call showers. So,
by the way, let me just like put a side note. Andrew's like putting a lot of these things in air quotations, so gas chambers are in air quotations.
yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good.
I always forget you guys can't see me, but it's fine. So they also believe that Jews were only to be relocated and not exterminated. Um, so like, excuse me. All of the Jews that went to concentration camps were supposedly being transferred to more eastern sections of Europe and Central Asia. So places like Russia, Czech Republic, that kind of stuff.
Do they have proof of that though? Is
Um,
what I would like to know. I have so
there
many questions for this.
there was definitely some they made some citations
Mm-hmm.
to like documents that said that they were being relocated. A lot of the time when you hear about the final solution in quotations, um, that is what people start talking about with the like exterminating Jews. That's what the final solution is for most people. Like when you think
Yeah.
of what Hitler's plan was, the final solution was to kill all
Yeah.
Jews. And what they say is that the final solution wasn't that. It was to simply remove them from certain areas into like Central Asia and Eastern Europe.
My question is, why would they do that?
It's there was a lot of reasons that Hitler came up with, but like mostly it was about I think disease, overpopulation, and like a lack of materials and like commodities, food, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And they needed a scapegoat, so Jews were a huge one for them.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So
But relocate them? I feel like that's a lot of work to just relocate them.
yeah, seriously.
And I don't know. Like, there's a lot of questions I have on this. Is this a website that you saw this on?
There was a few things. There was a few websites and a YouTube video.
All right. Well, I'll link something below because I'm going to go and actually look at some of this and get more details on it to
Mhm.
see, like, why do they say this? Like, do they even have evidence, you know?
There's some evidence, yeah, but the thing that I thought was interesting, especially in the YouTube video that I watched, was that they only used evidence from 2 concentration camps out of the, I think, like 20 or more. I don't remember how many there actually were.
There was
but
more than 2.
But yeah, they were only using information from 2. And one of the biggest things that I have a problem with in this is that they say that Germans and Poles are the ones that are really in those pictures of the really skinny.
That's crazy.
Like they don't even think those are Jews. Like it's all just Germans and Poles.
Who are these people? I want to know.
Just high level like professors or whatever. It's fine. But
Okay.
yeah. So the total number of Jews killed in their reality is under 1 million,
Wow.
which
That's
is a
that
huge
huge.
contrast from the 6 million that everyone knows.
And I think it's more than that.
It could be. It could very well be.
I should know this. This wasn't the number was posted on top of the door frame in one of my teacher's classrooms cuz she was really into the Holocaust and
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Mrs.
Miss Wheeler.
Mrs. Wheeler.
Miss
Miss
Wheeler.
Wheeler. She wasn't married. So the reason why they think that is based on their 2 concentration camps they got their information from, and the fact that Jews were moved to Palestine and the U.S., making it near impossible in quotations to really get a count. So they're basing it off of the fact that they can't get an accurate count.
So
and
they guesstimated.
basically, yeah. So that is the Holocaust Revisionism theory, which is basically people just like, I don't know, trying to be assholes. I really don't understand the point of it. Maybe trying to find the truth, but like, damn. I don't know. I don't think it's true, but wow.
Oh, well.
What's your next one?
So I'm going to talk about two smaller ones right now. I got both of these from Shane Dawson's video. And the first one I want to talk about is mirrors in, I almost said restaurants, but I really mean clothing stores.
Oh my gosh. If mirrors in restaurants tried to make you look skinny.
I didn't get there.
They probably do, though.
You ruined my surprise.
It could still be a surprise.
Mirrors in clothing stores are trying to make you look skinny.
Oh my god. Wow. Not expecting it.
So I mean, like, when I heard this, I was like, well, that's not a surprise. And I feel like a lot of you would probably say the same thing. It's not a big surprise. It's really smart, like, business move and tactic to get people to buy your clothes. You know, you look skinny, you feel more confident, and you just buy more clothes and whatnot. And then you try it on at home and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, why do I look like a sack of shit?
Oh my god.
But you bought the clothes already and they were on clearance, so you can't return them.
I thought I was the only one.
So in Shane Dawson's video about this, he actually tested this out and he put a side-by-side picture of him and one of his friends, and you could actually see the difference.
What do you mean?
They
Like they
went
were
to
wearing the same clothes?
Yeah, they went to Target and took a picture of themselves in the fitting rooms. And then they went home and took the same picture in their mirror, and it was different. Like, it's not huge difference, so it doesn't make you like question things, but it takes a few inches off. And I wanted to bring this up because I actually have firsthand experience in this. The Old Navy mirrors, I swear, make you look skinnier. I swear on it.
Everyone buy your mirrors at Old Navy.
I went to Old Navy and I was trying on stuff and I was like, oh my god, I look so good. I even took a selfie. I don't have the selfie anymore. I don't think so. But I was like, wow, I look so skinny. Oh my god. And I didn't know that until, when I was researching for this podcast. And right when I heard it, I thought back to that picture at Old Navy.
Uh-oh.
I thought of Old Navy. This is absurd.
I'm scounding.
So, I mean, that's something cool to like figure out. I don't think all clothing stores are doing this, but I feel like a lot of them are. It makes sense.
I think H&M does.
You think so? I don't know,
so.
actually. But yeah, so take your pictures at stores and then take your pictures at home and see if you can spot the difference.
And send them to us.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Send them to us. I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next one I have is a little bit more serious and a little bit more scary. A lot more scary than looking skinny. But
McDonald's is really Burger King.
no, close. It's about predictive programming. I never thought about predictive programming. Okay, let me back up and talk about what it is. So the theory is about the government putting things in fiction, like TV shows and movies, about the future, like social things that are planned out, such as 9/11.
I think we
AI.
talked about predictive programming in the last conspiracy podcast.
Did we?
I'm pretty sure, but I'm not completely sure. So I think it'd be nice to touch on it anyways.
So yeah, the government is putting stuff in fiction, such as like cartoons and TV shows and movies and all that predict the future. So when the thing happens, we're not as shocked. We're not as like
There's
blown
not as
away
much
by
of
it.
like an uproar.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So I thought this was really interesting because I remember the episode in The Simpsons where they predicted 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many movies and stuff like that predicted 9/11. Not just the Twin Towers falling, but like airplanes going into it.
Mm-hmm.
How? Like, what?
Well, I mean, personally, I think that's more of like a coincidence because
You
the
think
World
so?
Trade Center was a huge
Everything?
landmark. And so that, like, it just made sense. If anything, I think it goes the other way around where seeing that as a terrorist organization in media from America, probably pushed them to use that as one of their, targets. I
Like it
think
gave them ideas, kind
yeah,
of.
I think that's more likely than predictive programming. But I
True.
think predictive yep, that stuff. I think that stuff is, I mean, I think it has merits. Like, I mean, who knew that, touchscreen telephones were going to
Yeah.
be around?
Or like AI. Like in
AI,
a lot
yeah.
of cartoons, there's, technology thrown in there and
hmm
robots.
Yeah, I mean, robots have been a thing. Like the Jetsons was a huge
Yeah.
TV show. There's
Mhm.
been earlier than that. There were TV shows and movies.
And if you think about a lot of the things that are in like kids shows,
hmm
it's a lot of things that, put ideas in their mind
True.
for the future. And I mean, it doesn't have to be so outlandish like predicting 911, 9/11.
Same thing, really.
Yeah, pretty much. But it could be just like small things, you know?
True.
Did you know that Leapfrog was made by Apple?
No, I didn't. That's kind of crazy to think. Like Apple is just trying to snap you up
Yeah,
ever
so
since you were born.
yeah, when you're young, it gets you used to
Oh my
having like
god.
something that resembles a tablet or a laptop or whatever, so you want one in the future.
That's so crazy. I heard that some scientists or scholars or something, some people were saying that giving your child a smartphone or tablet is equivalent to giving them like an eighth of cocaine.
I mean,
It's like
I can see the comparison with the whole addictive thing, but
that's just crazy to
that
me.
is. You gotta be
I don't
really
know.
careful with your kids and technology and stuff. It's crazy.
hmm
We grew up with like social media and all that, and
No, we
we're
didn't.
yeah, we did. Like,
No, we grew up without like cell phones, and then cell phones
yes.
became a thing when we were like
Yeah,
teenagers.
but we were growing up as it was like
Oh, got you.
developing.
Okay. Yeah.
So we grew up with it. So we're kind of like in the middle phase of the people who didn't grow up with it and the people who did. And it's like it's a weird place to be in
Yeah.
and I'm
Very middle
uncomfortable.
ground.
Yeah, very middle ground. What are some theories you have?
The next theory on my list is Paul McCartney is dead.
Dun dun dun.
So in this theory, Paul McCartney, the real Paul, not Fall or faux Paul, was killed or died in a car accident in 1966. But due to the media attention the Beatles were getting, the other band members decided to find a lookalike and just use him all the time. The lookalike is apparently actually a real guy that won. He was an orphan who won a lookalike competition earlier in his life, and his name is Billy Shear. Um,
Competition for Paul McCartney?
yeah, like a Paul McCartney lookalike.
Okay, just wanted to make sure because like if he looks like someone else, and I wouldn't get it.
Right?
Anyways,
Honestly. People say the band members felt guilty, so they left secret messages. So they're basically, like there's songs that have like, if you play the song backwards, it'll say
oh, I love
something.
those.
So one of them is the song Revolution Number 9. If you play it backward, it says he hit a pole, get him to a surgeon.
Okay.
In the song I'm So Tired, if you play it backward, it says Paul is dead, miss him, miss him.
Oh
Um,
wow.
which is pretty like chilling, right? Like you feel that?
Yeah.
But I haven't personally taken the time to like I don't even have a record that I could play backwards, but
You could probably find clips online.
that's a lot of work. Some other things that people point to are Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That's an album by the Beatles, and it on the front cover, it's just like basically a huge band, including the Beatles, and they're standing in front of a giant like flower bed, and it's like a really cool picture, really bright. But what people say is that it's depicting a funeral.
Oh,
With
cool, fun.
right, because of the flower bed and how many flowers there are, and like right underneath where the flowers are, it looks like freshly dug up dirt, kind of.
Oh,
In my opinion, it looks more like dirt in a flower bed.
literally just a flower bed.
But yeah, that was pretty interesting. And then another one that they say is a huge indicator that Paul McCartney is really dead, is the Abbey Road crossing. Like the biggest thing that everybody knows the Beatles for is the Abbey Road crossing, where it's the four of them crossing the street at a crosswalk. What the conspiracy theorists say is that John Lennon, he's wearing white, is a priest. It's like he's supposed to be the priest. Ringo is in black. He's the pallbearer. George is in a blue jean like suit kind of thing. He's a gravedigger. And then solely because Paul McCartney is not wearing shoes means that he's dead. Like,
okay.
right?
I'm not wearing shoes. Am I dead?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Me too, because I'm not wearing shoes either.
No wonder I'm always so cold. I'm a ghost.
Right? Same. And I found it interesting that Paul McCartney actually has a comment on this. He said, I'm going to let them, I don't have the exact quote, but basically he's going to let them believe what they believe. He doesn't want to like ruin their reality. That's what he said.
Bitch, same if that was me.
Yeah, he just like goes on with his life, making his music and stuff.
If someone ever made a conspiracy theory about me, I'd be like, maybe I am. Maybe I did. You don't know.
Yeah, really. That would be fun.
Do you want me to do my last conspiracy theory?
No, because I have two more.
Okay.
So the next one that I have is controversial.
Ooh, the Holocaust one wasn't controversial.
I mean, I think it's not. It's not
you say it.
equally controversial, but it's still controversial, like a little bit less. So this one is about AIDS, HIV/AIDS, and the theory is that the CIA stop. Oh my god. That was bad.
No, it wasn't.
It was actually really good, but it was bad.
AIDS. Who has it? Who wants it?
Anyways, so the theory is that AIDS was created by the government, specifically the CIA. Most people most people who believe it are African American. And most African Americans who do believe it think that it was created to keep the African American population down. So that's interesting. The theory goes that HIV/AIDS is a man-made virus that the CIA made to kill and wipe out black people and homosexuals. A lot of important people believe it, including the president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki. Some say gay men were injected with it during the hepatitis B experiments all over the country in the late 70s. Oddly, this was interesting. President Nixon combined the Biowarfare Department and the National Cancer Institute in 1971. I just thought that was like weird because that was like a fact that they brought up. Like, why would you even combine those? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
So that means that people in the government are working with people in the healthcare industry.
That's scary.
Right? People who don't believe this theory think that um, the virus came from monkeys in the 1930s. But what's interesting about that is that the virus was it first like came to be known in like the 80s or 70s.
Yeah.
So that's like 40 or 50 years of where is it?
Where is
Like
it?
what?
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. Um, there's some other theories. Some people believe that the scientists combined a cancer virus called HTLV. It's like I can't remember which one it was. Dang it. Well, they combined HTLV and a sheep virus called Visna, and it was then put into prison inmates. And when they got out of prison,
They would
they
spread it.
spread it to the general population. Another one says that Visna, that sheep virus, was modified and then combined with hepatitis B vaccine, which was then administered to gay men during those experiments in the late 70s. Um, so basically, I don't know. I kind of agree with it. I kind of don't.
I
I don't know.
don't know if I agree with the whole like it was made so African Americans will like, keep the population down.
Well, at
I
the
do
time, like a lot of people believe that because at the time everyone was still racist. Like even everybody in the White House was white. Everybody in the White House, well, I wouldn't say everyone,
true.
but like a lot of them were racist.
I mean, it's not too out there, but I do believe that the government has made viruses and diseases to control population,
Um,
which I don't understand. Just tell people to stop having kids. Give someone like a $200 Amazon gift
well,
card
I mean
to
like
like not have kids anymore to
well,
get their tubes tied.
they kind of tried that in China and people still had more kids and like they got in trouble for it, but like you can't really control that, especially in a country where freedom is like the mantra, you
True,
know?
but it's not even really mentioned. It's not like, oh, we suggest that
True.
just don't
Yeah.
have any more kids. Like, have two and call it a day. Call it a life.
Excuse me. Some people were even saying that the CIA started the experiments with HIV/AIDS in Africa, and then
That's more believable.
those people brought it to, the U.S. or something.
I remember in elementary school actually hearing about that there was like a lot of people in Africa who had HIV/AIDS,
Same.
which is weird that it's like resurfacing now and you're bringing up this theory. But yeah, that's interesting.
That is really interesting, and I do believe most of it. Especially like homosexuals were really looked down upon at the same time,
That is
and
so true. Two
like
minority groups.
yeah, and they really wanted to keep those people down. So I believe it, honestly.
It's not far out there for me to not believe it. That's what I'm going to say. I want to share mine first and you can go last because I really want to hear this one that you have. So, my last theory that I'm going to talk about is Princess Diana was murdered.
Aw.
So, for a lot of our generation, we wouldn't know who Princess Diana really was. She was murdered. No. She died August 31st, 1997, I think. I think so.
Okay.
I just know she died August 31st cuz it's coming up on her anniversary. Anyways, so this isn't like a new thing that people have speculated. I mean, up to this day, people are still talking about it, which I find so interesting. Why are we still talking about it?
Yeah,
There's
really.
just it's just such a it's such a mystery. Can't talk now. So, for those who don't really know about her death, she died on August 31st in early morning. It was a Sunday. So her and her boyfriend, this was after her and Prince Charles split up and she was dating someone else. They stayed at a hotel and they wanted to dodge the paparazzi, so they kind of like faked like there was 2 cars. One car went one way, one car went the other way, and they were pretty much trying to dodge the paparazzi. And they were in Paris, and a lot of people speculated that Princess Diana was pregnant and that she would soon announce that, or she was getting engaged to her boyfriend and they were going to announce that. So
it's important to note that her boyfriend at the time was Muslim.
And that was really looked down upon by the royal family. So they were in the car, and there were 4 people in the car. There was the driver, Princess Diana, her boyfriend, and the security guard. In the crash, all of them died except the security guard, but he didn't remember anything. So he was like, no help. There was no one who really knew what happened in the car and whatnot. And when they were driving, they went into a tunnel and pretty much crashed into like the middle of it, like the pole or something like that. So the crash happened in a tunnel.
Okay, how are you going to crash into the only fucking pole in a tunnel?
So the paparazzi, like it's pretty weird.
Also, like, how fast were you going that you killed 4 people?
Exactly.
Or 3 out of 4 people? That's just okay. Anyways, continue.
So some of the details is the people who were there who witnessed, quote unquote witnessed, they were outside or whatnot. They saw a big flash, and they speculate that's what made the driver crash, and he couldn't see or whatnot. And there was also another thing that they blamed. Hold on, I'm trying to find it. They also blamed the paparazzi for following them, pretty much. Like, so the driver was probably like in a rush or in a hurry and was trying to get away from them. So they blamed the paparazzi at first. Also, the police, once everything was like over and done with, the police said that the driver was actually intoxicated. So in his blood or in his body, there was a lot of CO2, which doesn't make sense because before the crash, he wasn't like showing any signs of being incoherent or whatnot. Mm-hmm. Like, why would you want to go in a car with someone who's acting crazy, who's acting drunk, who's, falling over the place? So a lot of people speculate that his blood was swapped with someone who killed themselves.
That would make sense.
It's like a suicide, the CO2.
Yeah.
Right? So that was interesting. And when they took Princess Diana... Okay, no. First, before they even brought her to the hospital, it's standard procedure in France to, right away after an accident, take them to the hospital. But it took like an hour to even get her to the hospital, which is like
That's
weird.
Really weird.
And there was even, I don't know if it was like a video or someone saw it, but they stopped like 30 seconds away from the hospital, the ambulance.
What?
And it said that like the doctor in the ambulance said to stop the car because if they kept going or like the car was like making her worse or something like that. So like that's weird. Like, why stop 30 seconds from the hospital when it's right there and like literally bring her there? And another thing, once they got to the hospital, they pretty much embalmed her body right away, which is illegal. Yeah. First off. And a lot of people are saying that they did that so they could hide the fact that she was pregnant, maybe, and just like hide a lot of the evidence. So there was no real good medical examination on it. Another thing that's interesting is that at the crime scene, at the crash, they like cleared it out right away. Like, it was ready to be driven in the tunnel that they had the crash in like 3 hours after it happened.
Only 3 hours?
They hosed it down.
Wow.
So they didn't even like, tape it off, get a investigation on it. Like, they literally were just like, oh yeah, she crashed. Okay, move on.
Dang. That's disrespectful.
So there's so many questions. So the first theory is the accident was faked by Diana. A lot of people don't believe in this one, but I mean, it's a theory out there. Diana faked it herself because she wanted to live a happy life with her boyfriend and like live her life out of all of that, you know, out of being the princess and whatnot. And then the second one is they weren't targeting Diana. Like, no one was targeting her. It was actually the driver they were targeting.
Which sucks because he's the only one that survived.
Yeah, so the security guard survived.
Oh, sorry.
So they were targeting the driver, and Diana wasn't involved in it at all. I don't believe in this one, but it was pretty much because, like, the shady business, I guess, his dad was doing or something like that. But, yeah, there's that one. And the third one is she was killed by the Secret Service. So someone who was discharged from the Secret Service or on their deathbed, I can't remember, actually claimed this to be true. But then years after he claimed this to be true, he took it back, which is a little weird.
That is weird.
But he brought up the fact that she could have been pregnant, and another thing was she was making big political moves. I think about, like, I forget what she was doing at that time, but she was very, like, all in
open
making a movement,
yeah.
you know, and pretty much they were like, no, you have to sit there and be pretty and whatnot. And she was like, no, I'm not doing that. So they're like, she got to go. And the fourth one, which is the most believable to me, is that the royal family actually did it. She was breaking a lot of the rules, like marrying a Muslim man. There were so many rumors of her being pregnant and getting engaged with him. So they were like, no, we can't have this in our family. Also, there's also, like, speculation that Prince Charles actually was the one who made the moves on that because he wanted to be clear to, like, move on and get married again.
Dang. Trying to get that Rh negative blood going.
But yeah, her butler, who was by her side all the time, you know, he was his security guard. He did everything for her. And he even said that she was really afraid of Prince Charles.
That's so weird.
Like, she didn't want the royal family's security because maybe she thought that they would, like, turn her in if she did something bad. Or, like, she was afraid of that. So she hired her own security, which is weird. That she didn't trust them, you know. And the butler actually he said he had notes from Princess Diana. And one of the notes said, like, she was explaining that Prince Charles is planning an attack on her and her car and whatnot. And a lot of the people are saying that her car was tampered with.
Yeah, I've heard that she was always, like, checking her brakes and, like, her seatbelts and all that kind of stuff. So
even Mercedes refused to look at the car that was crashed.
Wait, like, Mercedes-Benz, like the
maker of the car that she died in. Like, they refused to look at it to see if there was anything wrong with it.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like, why wouldn't you look at it? I don't get it.
Maybe like an insurance thing, or not insurance, but like legal. I don't know.
Whatever.
Really don't.
But like there's just
weird.
So much shady stuff that happened in her death, and it's just like it's still such a mystery to so many people.
That's wild.
To me too. I didn't even really know her. I mean, it was funny because Andrew was talking to his sister the other day, and they lived in England when this happened. And just imagine being a young girl and, like, just hearing that the princess died. How terrifying that is.
Yeah.
A real life princess died. Like,
oh my God.
It was a big deal, and it still is. And that's why I find, like, all these theories so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, Ariel tells a good little skit about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I believe that. Well,
I don't believe that it was just an accident. I don't.
No, there's no way. Otherwise, like, Mercedes-Benz would have, you know, done their research and
done something about it.
Rushed her to the hospital and then stopped 30 seconds away. Yeah, just some sketchy stuff there, my homie. But moving right along to Jesus married Mary. Yeah, I said it, guys.
Hey Mary, I think I wanna marry you.
Jesus. Oh, um, yeah. So the theory
Oh
is
God.
that uh, the homie and our Lord, Jesus Christ, was not only married to Mary Magdalene, but had sex with her and children. I've heard both that they had multiple children, which included, I think, like a son and a daughter, or two sons and a daughter, or something. And then some people say that he only had a daughter. Um, and what's interesting is that from 8 days old, not 8 years old, 8 days old until he's 30 years old, there's no information on him. The only thing is that when he's 12, he goes to some like event or like church thing with his uncle, and then other than that, there's nothing until he's
Hmm.
30, and just starts making his his story known, and really spreading the word about God. Um, so in that time, people say that he may have dated and even had sex with multiple women.
Oh
Um,
wow.
like, uh, it's it's actually custom for Jews, which he was, to marry and have children. So if he
Hmm.
hadn't done that, there would have been a huge scandal. Like, he would have shamed his family by
Hmm.
not having married someone or had children. And there's no mention of that in old texts of a scandal where he didn't have children or marry. There's nothing in the Bible about that, which is really interesting. So getting into Mary, it's especially interesting because a lot of people, um, well, okay, so um, some say that Mary was a prostitute who was repentant, and that's actually like in the Bible. It says that, like, she was a little hoe, and she was like, "I'm sorry, Jesus, take me," um, and then he takes her under his wing, and yada yada yada. Um,
Isn't that his mom though?
Different Mary.
Oh.
Yeah, there's Mary of Magdal, Mary of Magdal, or Mary Magdalene is what they called her, and then there's the Virgin Mary,
Shows you how many times I read the Bible.
right? Um, so same though, actually. I think I read kind of a couple chapters.
I like how I
Um,
made you stop and think.
right? Um, Luke is quoted saying that Mary had been released from 7 demons. I don't know what that means, but
Children.
possibly, maybe, I don't know.
Was that the speculation?
They didn't really get into that. They just, like, there was a quote, and it was like, here's the quote.
Okay.
Do
Work.
do what you want with that. I was like, all right, whatever. Um, so I think that's actually getting into like slandering Mary. Because only the Western Church calls Mary an ex-prostitute. The Eastern churches, like, I don't really know what the Western and Eastern churches are. I think Western is like, Western Europe and America. But other Christian religions, they just think of Mary as like, she's like awesome and she's like the one to follow. Um,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but the first person to say that she was like the best was Pope Gregory in the 6th century. And he was basically just saying that she's a role model because she left everything to go and follow God. Um, I'm getting sweaty. um, Before she was talked of as, the woman to follow, Jesus actually saved her from being stoned, and that's a story that's in the Bible, where she's like on trial for being a hoe, basically, and Jesus is like, "Hold up, y'all. Excuse me. Whoever is without sin, you can go ahead and throw a stone."
Ooh,
And
that's that story.
I'm
See,
pretty
I know
sure.
that one.
I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive because, like I said, I haven't read the whole Bible. I haven't read the Bible in a while. I'm not a Christian. Yada yada yada. Like, please fact check me. And by the way, if you're a Christian, like, I still love you. I don't know if I believe this. Anyways, getting back into it. Some people have done a lot of research and written books and stuff. One of them is Jane Shaberg. He wrote that Mary was a leader in the group of apostles, and also that she was in conflict with one or more other disciples, and that Jesus defended her and was described as being intimate with her, meaning that like he would confide in her, he talked to her more. Probably, I think there's actually been, I read that there was accounts of him having kissed her, and people who don't believe that, or people who believe that but don't believe the theories, say that that was custom at the time to kiss to show affection, but I don't know about that. And it's interesting that her role as a leader has been suppressed. So like, if people are suppressing the fact that a woman was a leader in the disciples, what else are they suppressing? Like, what stories are they not letting out, So some stuff to think about. That's kind of all the info I got on that.
I don't know who Mary was, but okay. Good for them.
Good for them.
Her and Jesus?
Yeah, good for them. Have your babies and stuff.
Or whatever you do.
I was reading through the comment section, and some people were like really just mad at them for like
Even saying anything.
Like, you're gonna go to hell, blah blah blah. It's like, whoa, dude, just like doing some research on a real guy. But it's fine. I understand, because when it's your religion, it's like, why would you disrespect me like that,
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, that's all we have for today.
So thank you for joining us for Conspiracy Cast number 2. Really, we hope to see you again soon. And
Yes.
by the way, sorry for not being on social media lately. It's been busy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We don't know what we're doing, but we're definitely getting back into it.
Yeah, we're pretty much just like trying to figure out how to do it, but also like how do we want to present the podcast and how we want kind of like our brand, quote unquote brand, to go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just be patient with us. I see some of you out there. Don't think I don't. But yeah, we're gonna be getting on our what's a good phrase to say?
High horse?
I don't think it's a high horse. I think
Low
it's
horse.
pretty low. Maybe a donkey.
Ooh.
We're gonna get on our donkey and get things going.
Oh my god.
Also, I really want
to. That's the new phrase of the century.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I really want to have another conspiracy theory. Probably pretty much basically on the Illuminati. What do you think?
I'm down for that.
An
we
Illuminati.
could probably talk for like 3 hours on the Illuminati.
Yes. I have many theories and stories.
All
and
of the
stuff.
Illuminati are reptiles.
Reptiles. You can even see videos of Miley Cyrus being all reptilian eye-like.
Mm-hmm.
Check it out. Anyways, we're going to go have some dinner. I guess it's like National Girlfriends Day or something, and Andrew wants to take me out.
So appreciate your girlfriends, and also come check out me and my girlfriend on this episode, and whatever, That was kind of
on future episodes. I mean, they already
plug.
listened to it.
Yeah, go check us out later, tomorrow, next Thursday.
Anyways, we're going to go now.
Bye.
Bye.